Southeast Asia faces significant natural resource management issues due to decades of unchecked exploitation. This has resulted in landslides, floods, and endangerment of biologically diverse marine ecosystem. To address these problems, a regional knowledge management system for natural resources is needed, and individual and institutional capacities should be strengthened. So this chapter examines the feasibility of using the community of practice concept as a model for natural resources management and is a capacity development platform through the design of a learning program. So since the internet has revolutionized education and may transform communities of practice into the invisible colleges of knowledge management. So let's now move on to the objectives. The objectives of this chapter are first to analyze a knowledge management model for natural resources management in Southeast Asia. Second, to test a system appropriate to the KM model. And lastly, to determine the feasibility of designing a post-baccalaureate program on NRM knowledge management for Southeast Asian professionals employing the above model and system. So let's now tackle the theoretical framework. Invisible College. The Invisible College is described as precursor to the Royal Society of the United Kingdom. So it is consisted of a group of scientists including Robert Boyle, John Wilkins, John Wallis, John Evelyn, Robert Hooke, Christopher Wren, and William Petty. In letters in 1646 and 1647, Boyle refers to our Invisible College or our Philosophical College. The Community of Practice or COP. The Community of Practice concept itself refers to both a process and a group of people. The COP is defined as the process of social learning that occurs when people who have a common interest in some subject or problem collaborate over an extended period to share ideas, find solutions, and build innovations. It refers as well to the stable group that is formed from such regular interactions. Then the knowledge management. Knowledge management or KM is traditionally defined as an evolving discipline that considers an organization's intellectual capital as a manageable and potentially profitable asset. It is based upon the assumption that today's global economy is knowledge-based and that knowledge is a primary commodity as well as a valuable resource. Centuries ago, academics formed tiny groups called invisible colleges to pursue enlightenment. They had initiation processes and secret codes, and disciplines began to form. Nowadays, academia has disregarded the secret handshake but still has technical jargon and traditional costumes. Seniority, degrees, and rituals are still maintained, and invisible colleges are becoming communities of practice. KM principles are being used to address social and development issues, and COPs have become a preferred knowledge management model. So, COPs are defined as a group of professionals who share common problems and solutions, embodying a store of knowledge. So, this chapter will attempt to purposely construct and systematically document a KM model or system for Southeast Asia natural resources management for upscaling, replication, and capacity building purposes. Methodology. Research design. This is an applied research study employing the design, development, and testing model. It adopted a four-pronged methodology: knowledge management modeling, KM system development, community of practice consensus building, and instructional program design using the constructivist approach. And the methods: KM modeling, key informant interviews, analysis of secondary data, and documents analysis were conducted for a preliminary assessment of tacit and explicit MRM knowledge resources. So the feasibility of digital capture was evaluated and explored. Infrastructure and bandwidth availability was assessed. The results of these procedures form the basis for validating the technical feasibility of the COP as the study's KM model. Next one is KM system. The KM model was operationalized through a KM system that is co-located and administered at the UP Open University. The system operated as a module of the existing UPOU Learning Management System, or LMS, running on an IVLE, or Integrated Virtual Learning Environment version 4 platform. So it carried the following functionalities: online discussion board, messaging and collaboration, file transfer, protocol, scheduling, document management, and others. COP, or the Community of Practice, an NRM community of practice involving experts from the Philippines, Thailand, Laos, PDR, and Indonesia was activated to capture, upload, and share, download and reuse expert and local knowledge on NRM. So online discussions among the members were facilitated through consensus building. Through face-to-face and online discussions of the COP, a curriculum for a post-baccalaureate degree on natural resources knowledge management was designed. So the program may be offered in both online and residential modes by Casetart University and the UP Open University. So NRM professionals in all 10 Southeast Asian countries may enroll in the program under sponsorship or development agency or projects. And now let's talk the limitations. So the project covers only 4 of the 10 Southeast Asian countries. Furthermore, the total number of COP members was also limited for the pilot testing stage. It was assumed that once the COP is fully established, there would be no limit to the number of members. Let's now move on to the description of the project areas. So the study was conducted by Casetart University in Bangkok and the UP Open University in Los Baños. With the latter administering the online platform, it involved a community of practice from Thailand, Philippines, Laos, PDR, and Indonesia. Thailand and Laos PDR were selected for pilot testing due to their proximity, similar language, and strong scientific networking. So NRM expertise is abundant in Thailand, particularly in Casetart University, while most NRM experts in Laos PDR have trained in Thailand. So the Philippines and Indonesia share parts of the Sulu, Celebes Sea and have extensive deforested lowland and upland areas with vast scientific and local knowledge on NRM management. However, documentation is minimal due to language and access issues. So the research timeline. In December 2006, a research team was mobilized to develop a knowledge management model for natural resources management. In Southeast Asia, they conducted online knowledge resource audits and analyzed workflows for knowledge capture in the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and Laos PDR. So by February 2007, a tentative KM model was developed and operationalized using the UPOU Learning Management System on 2 separate platforms. In March 2007, a tentative list of NRKM Community of Practice members was compiled and country visits were conducted in Indonesia and Laos PDR. In May 2007, a Bangkok workshop was held and an additional workshop was conducted for the active participation of COP members from Thailand. Let's now dive into the results and discussion. The first one is the KM modeling. So knowledge management is the practice of managing an organization's intellectual capital, which is viewed as a valuable resource. It involves capturing and storing both documented and tacit knowledge digitally for sharing and reuse with an organization's internet system. So KM has been applied to various social and development concerns, including health, education, agriculture, and the environment. Natural resources management is one of the critical sectoral domains where KM principles have been applied. A KM model for NRM involves 3 components: content, workflows and procedures, and hardware software infrastructure. So let's now talk the context. So this chapter adopts a body of knowledge perspective. It forwards that, like other bodies of knowledge, natural resources management is 3-dimensional. Natural resources management has 3 aspects. Those are theory, policy, and practice, which are results of knowledge-generating activities. NRM has themes such as land, water, coastal, marine, biodiversity, conservation, air quality, and energy management, each with its own theories, policies, and best practices. Before managing NRM knowledge, it should be situated with the body of knowledge, cataloged, and audited. The audit was conducted through document analysis and online searches. The workplace and procedures. The article discusses the workflows and procedures in knowledge management which are guided by information science and communication science. These workflows include cataloging, storage, retrieval, packaging, sharing, and use of knowledge. So the capture pace of knowledge where local or indigenous knowledge is involved is particularly relevant to natural research management. So the feasibility of digital capture of local knowledge was evaluated and explored. And the article mentions that algorithm developed by Amazola 2006 that the project adapted with modifications. The last one is hardware, software, and infrastructures. The project will make use of the Internet Protocol as its main knowledge management platform. Since an online community of practice of NRM experts in Southeast Asia will participate in this undertaking, a web-based platform would be most appropriate. According to Flor in his GM Study 2005, the infrastructure for knowledge sharing in all four countries is available. So the policy environment for knowledge sharing is likewise conducive, particularly in Indonesia.
Testing. The NRKM model was put into action and tested using prototype knowledge management systems, which were managed by the UP Open University Faculty of Information and Communication Studies. The ideal system for the NRKM model is web-based, but it cannot be used as a complete intranet due to limited capabilities. Instead, it is operationalized using a Southeast Asian NRKM system managed by the UP Open University Faculty of Information and Communication Studies. Establishing the COP. A total of 20% experts participated in the COP. 20% come from Indonesia. Another 20% come from Laos, PDR. 30% come from the Philippines. The remaining 30% come from Thailand. Forums. The NRKM COP site had a total of 4 discussion forums. Introductions, the COP process, the post-baccalaureate program, and general comments. Knowledge sharing. Comments on the COP. The community of practice or COP method of sharing ideas works well when there is no need for everyone to agree. However, when there is a debate over a principle or theory, or a point that supports or challenges a theory, having an online discussion may not lead to a useful outcome. The suggestion is to offer participants to adjunct or affiliate faculty appointment without extra pay so that they have proof of participation in the NRKM project. This document can then be added to their curriculum vitae as official service to their university, country, and the Asian region. In the COP model, you can choose the information or experience that is relevant to your needs. It is important to be tolerant because participants may have different interests, sectors, and philosophies. It's better to have a diverse group of people because they can find better solutions to a problem. COP participation. Participation rates in the COP were quite disappointing. Participation in face-to-face discussion was quite high. However, online participation was very low. For the entire duration of the online discussion boards, the total number of posted responses to the 28 discussion threads was 58 replies. This is quite low. Reasons of lack of participation. One reason for low participation in the COP was the language barrier. Since English was the language used, some experts had difficulty expressing their ideas. Also, some experts were hesitant to share their ideas publicly due to cultural reason and fear of intellectual intimidation. And additionally, the busy schedules of experts made it challenging to find quality time to participate. And lastly, connectivity was a problem, especially to Lao PDR. Incentives for participation. To keep people interested and actively involved in the online community, we need to offer them incentives that are not related to money or physical items. In this case, we are planning to create a graduate program on natural resources knowledge management, and we want to know the people who are the most active in the community to have the opportunity to become faculty members in this program. This is a way to recognize their contributions and give them a chance to share their knowledge and expertise with others. Conclusions and recommendations. The study concludes that the community of practice model may be used for natural resources knowledge management. Furthermore, web-based learning management systems such as IBLE and Moodle can adequately serve as the knowledge management system for such a COP. Furthermore, the researchers recommend that the graduate program on natural resources knowledge management be developed and implemented by a consortium of universities in the Southeast Asian region. In order to effectively conduct online discussion forums, it is suggested that several factors should be taken into consideration. First, the issue of language barriers must be addressed, as participants may have different levels of proficiency in the language used for communication. Second, the schedule and availability of experts participants must also be considered, as they may have other commitments that could affect their ability to actively participate. Thirdly, cultural sensitivities of Southeast Asian participants should be taken into account, as some individuals may be hesitant to share their ideas publicly due to cultural norms. Fourth, connectivity should also be considered, as some participants may have limited access to the internet and technology. Lastly, non-material incentives should be provided to encourage and sustain the active engagement and interest of the participants.